What's up everybody, Tanvir Ahmed here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna talk about negging. I'm gonna tell you how to recognize and respond to negging. I'm also gonna be giving you lots of examples along the way so you can better understand what I'm talking about. So first things first, what is negging? Negging. It's a form of emotional manipulation. It can be so subtle at first that you don't see it for what it is. After all, everyone says something they wish they hadn't on occasion, but negging isn't a mistake or a slip of the tongue. It keeps happening, and slow escalation can desensitize you to its effects. You might think that because it's not physical, it's not abuse. And doesn't that person do nice things too? You may wonder if you're being overly sensitive or believe you have no recourse. Make no mistake about it. That's part of the manipulation. Over time, negging can damage your self-esteem and change the way you live. It can also spiral into severe emotional or physical abuse. It can happen to anyone. It might come from a parent, boss, coworker, friend, spouse, or significant other. No matter who you are and who's doing the negging, it's not your fault and you don't have to accept it. The first sign of negging: they give you backhanded compliments. They get you feeling pretty good, and then they knock you down. It's a tried and true method of keeping you on unsteady ground. It's particularly effective when there are witnesses, so you're more likely to grin and bear it. For example, "Well, don't you look fabulous? I would never have the courage to wear my hair like that. I'm so proud of you for quitting smoking. Too bad you already have all those little lines on your face. Congratulations on winning the ice dancing competition. Maybe someday you'll give a real sport a try." The second sign of negging: they compare you to other people. It's a comparison in which you never come out on top. Whether the statement is true or not, it's an obvious ploy to highlight your shortcomings and make you feel less than. For example, "Great improvement on your report card. Maybe next semester you'll do as well as your brother. Your old college roommate runs a successful company now, so why can't you make something of yourself? Your sister is in such great shape. You should take a cue from her and start working out." The third sign of negging: they insult you under the guise of constructive criticism. There's actually nothing constructive about their criticism. It's intended to hurt, not help. There's no mistaking it when you hear it. For example, "That report was terrible, but the subject is completely over your head. I know you put a lot into writing that song, but it grates on my nerves. Not to rain on your parade or anything, but I thought you should know that outfit makes you look dumpy." The fourth sign of negging: they always one-up you. You've got some great news, but they've got something to top it. Timing is everything in this scenario, and the point is to knock the wind out of your sails and keep attention on them. For example, you've just announced that you're engaged, so obviously they choose this time to announce their pregnancy and show off the baby bump. You've mentioned that you have a terrible head cold. They respond by telling you about the time they were hospitalized and almost died of pneumonia. So you shouldn't be such a whiner. I mean, how is that even relevant? You're talking about the 5-mile hike you just took. So they launch into a long story about that time. You know, that time when they backpacked through Europe for a month. Yeah, that time. The fifth sign of negging: they disguise insults as questions. A carefully worded question can easily serve as an insult. If you bristle at all, you're told it's just an innocent question and you're making something out of nothing. For example, "I'm surprised you did so well on that report. Who helped you with it?" You really don't care what other people think, do you? Don't take this wrong, but are you really going to eat all that? The sixth sign of negging: they're always just joking when you call them on it. Joking is the ultimate excuse when you try to push back. It can't be their fault that you can't laugh at yourself, right? Here are some things they might say to belittle you. "Lighten up. I was just teasing. You're too sensitive. You know I didn't mean it. Where's your sense of humor? Wow. I can't say anything without you taking it the wrong way." The seventh sign of negging: They make you feel sorry for voicing concerns. Sometimes you just can't let it slide. You want to talk about how negging makes you feel. They'll try to make you regret it by denying your accusations, minimizing their mistreatment, tuning you out, bringing up your faults, real or imaginary, to show that you're the problem, disregarding your opinions as uninformed, unintelligent, or juvenile, yelling, screaming, or swearing, throwing things, hitting the wall, or getting in your face. The 8th sign of negging: they redirect your concerns to make themselves into the victim. This classic ruse is used to completely turn the tables and make you the instigator. For example, that ugly tirade, it's your fault for getting them upset in the first place. They had to get physical because you wouldn't stop pushing their buttons. If you only showed a little respect, they wouldn't have to call you names. They wouldn't have to be jealous or keep checking on you if you didn't have a wandering eye. They ask you why you're always picking on everything they say or do. They complain that you're too needy. They keep talking about how much they love you and all the good things they do for you that you don't appreciate. So those were some of the main signs of negging to look out for. Now the question is, how do you respond to negging? We all say bad things once in a while and accidentally hurt people that we care about. But we recognize our errors, apologize, and try not to do it again. But emotional abuse isn't an accident. It's a regular occurrence, and the perpetrator typically doesn't attempt to change or improve their behavior. You may be experiencing emotional abuse if any of the following applies to you. You're frequently experiencing some of the behaviors we talked about, and it's starting to feel all too familiar. You often feel humiliated and disrespected. You're changing your behavior to please the other person. Your relationship is defined by the other person. Everything seems fine. Then there's a blow up for reasons you don't understand. The other person shows little to no remorse for their behavior. Everyone's situation is different, so there's no one solution. You may find it helpful to consider the following and move forward with what feels appropriate for your situation. Don't get dragged down to their level by insulting them back. Don't engage in pointless arguments. Do express your feelings. How they respond will tell you a lot. If they offer a sincere apology, accept it. Even so, don't let them off the hook by saying something like, "Don't worry about it." Make it clear that this behavior is unacceptable and demand change. Decide if the relationship is worth continuing. Long-term effects of remaining in a verbally or emotionally abusive relationship can include anxiety, depression, and chronic pain. You don't deserve that. If you find yourself on the receiving end of negging, know that it's not your fault, and it's not your responsibility to fix the other person. That's entirely on them. That's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you liked it. Hit that like button if you did, subscribble or subscribe, whichever you prefer if you haven't already. Hit that bell if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.